Hi, my name is Gregory Zaragoza. I play Medhat in Tulsa King episodes 2 and 9 of season 2. And want to put a shout out to Zay on MovieJunk too, and hope you guys go out and listen to this interview. Thank you.
Hi, Gregory. Welcome to Movie Junk. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good and looking forward to having a nice conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a very special guest joining us today in Gregory Zaragoza. Fans have seen your work in many notable projects such as The Sopranos, Yellowstone, The Last of the Mohicans, Tulsa King, which that finale was just so epic and ended in such a surprising
Yeah.
fashion, right? And so many more exciting projects. I can't thank you enough for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
The fan in me wants to just jump right into all of your exciting projects, but you have a very unique journey that you've actually, shared. And if I'm not mistaken, right, you used to be a lawyer way back when, before you even decided to enter the
Mhm.
entertainment business.
I've been a lawyer for 40 45 years.
So still an active lawyer, or
I
still a
still
lawyer.
I put in 10 hours today.
Wow, wow, that's how do you manage that with all your busy schedule?
I just leave and say I'll see you later. I'll be back. I'm shooting tomorrow. I'm shooting Thursday, Friday, whatever. I'll see you later. And I have flexibility, so no problem. I
The
make it
clients
up
can wait.
weekends or whatever, you know.
And and you have a martial arts background as well too, right?
Yeah, both my wife and I are black belts in karate.
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
brown belt in judo, and also I took taekwondo for about a year, and I took kung fu for about a year and a half.
That,
So
were there any early aspirations growing up, in martial artists or anyone in that space growing up?
my little brother is like a third-degree black belt in
Oh,
taekwondo.
wow.
But for me
Wow.
in martial arts, I was in a black belt in Kyokushin, Japanese. It's a hard style of karate, Masayama. And I was in a black belt tournament, point system, no contact, right? And the guy I was fighting was a different style, and he did a spinning back fist punch right to my nose, broke my nose, knocked me out, almost killed me.
Wow.
Sent me to the emergency. I had 40 stitches. That's funny. The doctor on call, he comes up to me. He looks at me for like 20 seconds, and then he says, "I can't do this," and walks away. Like, what? You can't
Wow.
do this? What do you mean you can't do this? He comes back and he says, "I got you a plastic surgeon." Like, oh God, you could have
Oh,
said that
wow.
before. God.
Wow. That's insane. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you started your career initially in Broadway, right before your first step in the entertainment business, correct?
Actually, my first job was with New York Undercover. I did a like a guest star role on that, and then I did a role on The Equalizer,
Yeah.
and then from there I ended up doing Broadway in Macbeth as one of the apparition and a soldier, and it was crazy. A month before, I was working as a tax lawyer in New York City, and then a month later, I'm on the road in a Broadway show. Like, God.
And you met some really exciting actors and actresses right at Broadway, and you also work with Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer, nice guy.
Wow.
I mean, after every show, we'd all go out for a drink, right? So he would sit by himself with 2 bottles of expensive red wine, and he'd drink them both. I don't know how he got up the next morning, but he would drink them both. And
Oh,
we'd
wow.
be over there looking at him like, oh my God, how's he going to drink that? But he was a nice
Wow.
guy, really hard worker. Oh my gosh. I mean, he had to carry the show along with, you know, oh God, we had Zoe Caldwell as our third director, and but it was incredible experience to go from being a lawyer to being on Broadway. You know, big transition.
Amazing, amazing, right? And if I'm not mistaken, your first feature film was The Last of the Mohicans. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
last of the Mohicans. I
What
had
a movie.
I had 3 callbacks for the part of Magua. And I thought, okay, I got this, I got this. And then they ended up hiring Wes Studi. Uh, but they hired me as the Abenaki chief, and I had this great monologue that got left on the cutting room floor. But it was great to go out there and to work with Michael Mann. You know,
Mm-hmm.
great
Yeah, I
guy.
mean, such an amazing film. I mean, I believe Daniel Day-Lewis won the Academy Award for his
Yeah,
performance in that
yeah,
movie, right? There was a lot of
yeah,
awards. That movie definitely broke ground as well too. So if there's one movie to kind of start your
yeah. It's
career in,
epic.
right? That's
Totally,
epic.
it's an epic movie. Definitely. Luckily, I wasn't involved with all the killing. I mean, oh my God, all these poor guys. I mean, that's hard to be cut in half and then have to come back the next day and work again, you know?
Mm-hmm. And also too, your son is also a fellow actor as well too. And you guys have worked together on a few
Mm.
projects. Roman,
Yeah, Roman,
come on.
he's on the show Ghost right now.
Yeah.
He did we did Stumptown together. He was playing my nephew, and we also did I forget Those Who Can't. We didn't have this we weren't related, but we were in the same show. It was a comedy. And yeah, he's been working hard for years and years as a kid, modeling, print work, commercials, um, you name it. He was at OSF, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. He did 3 summers of that. And
Wow.
yeah. And then one of my daughters, my oldest daughter, was a triple threat singer, actress, dancer, but just got
Wow.
tired of waiting for the phone to ring. So now she's a traveler. She's been to 65 countries. And my
Wow.
second child is a daughter, Ray Zaragoza, singer-songwriter, and she's has songs on Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, The Kardashians, all these
Wow.
different shows. And right now she's touring as Tiger Lily and Peter Pan. She's been doing it for a year, and she's going to be ending that in the next 2 weeks.
Wow. I mean, you have such an amazing, talented family, right? I mean, was there, and I doubt that there was, but was there any push from your side, or did your children just find the bug on their own?
I think what happened is I was doing Annie Get Your Gun on Broadway, and they would all second act the show, and they would come backstage. And Bernadette Peters was so endearing. I think it was Bernadette that really got them to really focus and want to be actors because she was great. I mean, it's a great show. Annie
Mhm.
Get Your Gun. I got to play Chief Sitting Bull. It's fun show.
And I do want to jump into one of my all-time favorite shows in The Sopranos. And to be honest, this is where I first was introduced to you, believe it or not. And when I saw you pop up in Tulsa King, I immediately made the Sopranos connection just because the Kennedy and Heidi episode is actually one of my favorite
Really?
episodes. I really like it just because it's just Tony in Vegas, right? Who doesn't want to see Tony in Vegas, right? And
Yeah.
he's with the Sonia character, I believe. You know, he goes and sees, and she was a friend of Christopher. And if
Hmm.
you're paying attention to the whole story for the few seasons, Tony was just having a lot of bad luck, gambling,
Yeah.
and he had just murdered Christopher earlier that episode too. And you were the dealer where he won a really, really big hand, right? And he's
Yeah.
just sitting there laughing and falls on the ground and you're just looking at him. Love to hear first, how you ended up on the show and also were you a fan of the show before joining?
Oh, yeah, everyone's a fan of that show. Oh gosh. But I auditioned with oh God, forget her name. It's
Georgianne?
Georgianne Walken, Christopher Walken's wife. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
she was incredible. So nice and friendly. When I did the audition, I was like putting a lot into it. He goes, "Don't forget this. You're there for Tony. So just do it simple." So I did that, and I got cast. And I'm in New York, and they flew us all out to Vegas, which was great to hang out in Vegas for a week. I mean, it
Yeah.
was fantastic. And then to see Tony's co-star, what was her name again? I forget her name, but
Sarah Shahi.
yeah, Sarah Shahi. Oh my God, stunning woman, incredible. But the scene was great. It was, and then the night before, I've never done work as a croupier. So I went to the croupiers we're working. How do how do you spin the wheel? How do you push the money? And it's not easy just to be able to push the money like that and then to spin
hmm
the wheel and to throw the ball. It looks so simple, but it's not simple. It took me, oh God, it took me hours to figure out what to do.
You
And
know, it just hit me as well too. Um, um, that Sarah, she also did a movie with Sylvester Stallone, Bullet to the Head. She played his daughter, so she
oh,
also worked with him as well too. But yeah, definitely, with that scene as well, there was a lot I mean, it was a simple scene, but there was a lot going on if you look at the messaging of the
mm,
episode, right? And I think I think his line was, Chris is dead, like he admitted, right? And
yeah.
it led into the I did it line later on.
Mhm.
So it was just definitely a very meaningful episode, right? And did you have to do any prep work with James Gandolfini at all, or what was it like working that scene?
No, we just got one on the set and we just did it, like 4 or 5 times. And they had come in because they had been smoking peyote together,
Yeah.
and they came to this to gamble. So they were a bit high. I mean, acting high, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So we think. So we
So I
think.
think, yeah, but it was it was quite an experience. I mean, nice guy. And then when we finished, and I had my flight set up for the next morning, and he says, "Why don't you stick around for a while? We'll have some good times." And I know I got to get back. I got to take care of this and that. And then who'd have thought? Poor guy died within what, a year or so later? I forget. I'm not sure how what it was.
Yeah, I think 2013, 2014. Yeah, like
Yeah,
not too far after that,
yeah,
passed away.
shocking. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, everyone, I mean, we've interviewed quite a bit of the Sopranos cast, and actually some of the folks that are on Tulsa King as well too. And then everyone has just shared their own unique stories from working with James of how caring he was, right? Even folks that were just on for an episode or
yeah,
two, just how personable he was and how he went out of his way to care, for his fellow castmates.
right.
Um,
The
so yeah,
funny thing is,
definitely.
Tony's sister on the show, Aida Turturro, she and I took acting class together in New York for at least 5, 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Meisner with a guy named Robert Modica. Also,
Yes.
Nicholas Turturro, he was in class with us. John would come
Hmm.
by once in a while. We had all these celebrities. I mean, they weren't celebrities at the time, but they became celebrities.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, that's an amazing class
It
to work
was
with.
it was incredible. Oh God. So many people I just can't remember their names. So, and they all became superstars. Like
Yeah,
Scott Cohen was just on The Penguin. He was
yes.
he was in class with me for at least 5 years. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And what a show. The Penguin was such an
Yeah.
amazing show. And my understanding, that was initially supposed to be like a limited series and it got extended and it's got such good reviews that they're supposed to come back with a season two, hopefully.
Wow. It's so good. I don't know how the makeup he puts on, unbelievable. Oh gosh.
Definitely. I mean, for me, I mean, I was binge watching. The way I was doing it is Tulsa King would show up Saturday midnight, so I'd watch that late Saturday or early morning, and then I'd wait till the evening time and watch Penguin. So my Sundays were just jam-packed for so long. So now I'm kind of it's bittersweet now, it's done. So now I got to wait for the next few shows.
Yeah, now you got to watch football.
Well, another show that's really good too is Lands. I think it's called
Oh,
Landsman. Landsman.
Landman. That's another Taylor
Landman.
Hackford. Yeah. I'll tell Taylor Sheridan show. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and that show is amazing. I mean, I've watched the
Oh,
first
good.
two
Oh my
episodes.
God. Yeah, I went to a screening with the lead actor.
Billy
Remind me of his
Bob?
name. Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton. He was there. Nice guy, and he came back afterwards and spoke to us all. But whoa, what a great performance! I mean, what a great. It's so well written too. I mean, Taylor
Hmm.
Sheridan. He's just so prolific in what he does. He's everywhere.
Not sure if it's a spoiler, but I mean, you have the Yellowstone connection with Taylor Sheridan. Are you slated to pop up in Landsman at all, or?
I mean, gosh, he directed me on that show, and plus my scene is like one of the most watched scenes
Hmm.
and,
Hmm.
of Yellowstone. So I'm waiting. Come on, Taylor, give me a break.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. And
Yeah,
I do want to jump into Tulsa King, right? You play the character of Medhat.
yeah.
I'm wondering, was the Terrence Winter connection from Sopranos that kind of helped introduce you to the role, or how did you find yourself on Tulsa King season
That's
2?
funny. I just auditioned, and maybe the connections there with Terrence Winter and also Taylor Sheridan, because I was cast to do to do 2 episodes, right? This is in early May or even April. And then I said, well, I can't take the part because my son is treating the whole family to go to Japan. So it conflicts with the shooting schedule. So then I said, no, I'm not going to take it. Then they said, well, no, just we'll work it out. Then I said, okay, let's do that. So they ended up postponing the shooting of my scenes until after I got back from Japan,
Oh,
which never
wow.
happens. That never happens.
Did your character still appear at the same time it was because I think your character appeared in episode 4, right? Were you supposed to
Yeah.
show up earlier, or was it always episode 4?
No, I was supposed to show up in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it to 4. And then I was supposed to do 9 and 10, but they changed it to just 9. So it's a floating thing. It's you just never know what's going to happen out there, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
who knows if we'll have a season 3. I'm hoping, but who
I
knows?
thought I heard that it was renewed. Is it official or not
Oh,
official
really?
yet?
I have no idea. Well, I got to look that up.
Right?
You would know
Because
better than me. You're in this in the trenches on this stuff.
I mean, obviously we lost a very memorable character in Jimmy, who's
Yeah.
there since season 1. Glenn's performance is awesome, and it was just it was just sad, right? He gave that amazing speech, and you were just hoping that we were going to get something positive, and then boom, something like that happened where his character gets
Yeah.
taken out. I feel like again, maybe with his character now, being killed. I feel like that's more opportunity for your character to have some development as well too, right? Or
I'm hoping because just the what was done so far in 4 and 9, it seems like I'm part of the whole group now,
yeah, yeah,
with the wind farm and the marijuana and all that. So, but with last uh that last scene of the episode 10, who knows what's going to happen? God,
yeah. It's like where are they taking this story now, right? I mean, because we know the
yeah,
FBI wanted all the files, and then he just gets
right.
picked up. I was thinking that the Dana Delaney character was going to get killed,
Hmm.
but instead, Stallone, Dwight gets picked up, and we don't know what that is. Is that CIA? Is that who are those folks?
Looks like
That
CIA, FBI.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I guess they want him to turn, be their informant, So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see where that leads. I mean, he got
Yeah.
arrested and he quickly, got himself out of a pinch and even defended
I
himself.
know.
So
That was a great episode. Yeah. That was so good.
so we'll see where his character leads. Any stories you could share with working with Sylvester Stallone? What's it like working with
Actually,
him?
actually on the set, he's like episode 4, very serious. He would come on and do his close-ups. And then once it's time for my close-up, he leaves and he has his stand-in do his lines. And
Yeah,
then episode 9, we had a lot of natives for the funeral scene, right? And
yeah,
he was there, hanging out with everybody, talking to everyone. He even played the drums with with the drummers, and he felt like he was part of the crowd, which was nice. A lot of times, celebrities won't even, participate or talk to other extras and such.
definitely. And I actually we've interviewed Frank Stallone on our show. So he's actually been on our show. It was a few years back, and I actually had the chance to meet Sylvester once in person. And yeah, I mean, he was just super nice. Both brothers have been super nice and super genuine. So yeah, definitely, in this role, seeing, his performance, because if I'm not mistaken, I mean, this is his first mafia role that he's played. He technically was a mobster in the movie Oscar. All right, but that was more comedic. But now we're actually finally seeing him in the true mob role. So I think the character is great. I mean, the show is very dramatic and get very serious, but can just be extremely funny and hilarious with the comedy scenes as well. So I think it's a really, really good take because it's something different that we quite haven't seen on
Yeah.
TV before.
And I loved Graham Greene's The White Man Freddy during episode 9. I thought that was so funny, so well done.
Definitely. Yeah. And also Max Casella also did a really, really good job this season as well too. I was a little
Yeah, he
disappointed.
was
I love his performance as an
desperation.
actor.
Gosh, such a great performance. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they write for him so well. Gosh.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm do you does from working on the set, I mean, I know the writers are extremely talented. I know Rico Bean and Terrence Winter, but do they let you guys ad lib at all, or do you have to essentially read
No,
what's on the
if you get one word wrong, they come over and say, no, 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 the word is this. So you got to
hmm
be right exactly on book. So
That's
nothing.
That's what I heard. It was like on The Sopranos. Like you couldn't say the, it had to be the, and like everything had to be
Yeah,
said. So it's a lot of the same writer. So it sounds like it's the same code on
yeah.
Tulsa King as well.
Yeah, those are their jewels. These are my words. Make sure you say my words.
hmm I know you lightly teased on it a bit, but where do you think season three can head to at this point with your character and beyond?
I'm hoping because I guess episode 10, there was reference to my son taking over the casino.
Hmm
And then we have the wind farm and the marijuana being grown on the wind farm. I mean,
Yep.
to me, that's a whole segment that they got to explore. I mean, it's
Yeah,
and but where they go from there, I who knows? Gosh, I
definitely.
mean, it could
Hmm
be like a conflict between me and my son. Could be a conflict between because like I'll think my son's getting too close to the Stallone
Yes.
character or the Stallone, the Dwight, you know, ends up doing something and my son goes to prison because of Dwight or who knows what. There's so much they could do. It's really
Yeah. No, your character definitely has, I mean, just a lot of integrity and honor. And it sounds like it looks like your son's character is now getting a little bit closer to the family, right? Maybe
yeah.
can be, yeah, I don't know if the word manipulated is a little bit more there, so that might
Hmm.
be some conflict. So there's definitely some good story there, but definitely a lot of opportunities for everyone to make a lot of money in the
Yeah.
process as well, right? And
So true, so true. Gosh.
definitely, definitely. And I do also want to ask as well too, if you're able to share, what are some of the upcoming projects that you're allowed to discuss? Are there any exciting projects that you're able to share with the fans?
Right now I'm shooting a mini series. It's an education mini series called People of the West. It's about indigenous people in California historically, going back from Father Sarah. He was a Catholic priest who basically forced assimilation among natives. And and then it goes on, and I have my character is Chief Tanaya, who would not submit to signing a treaty. And so but ultimately, he has no choice because if I don't sign the treaty, they're going to kill all my people. So there's that conflict between, trying to maintain your heritage, your land, and also protecting your people. And sometimes you can do both. And it's but it's gonna be covering all parts of the Native experience throughout the last 300 years.
Hmm
It's actually financed by the Pachanga uh, nation.
Oh, wow. And this is a mini series?
Yeah, it's going to be actually. I think it's going to be focused on being shown to high schools to teach them, at least in California. Who knows about
Wow.
other states?
Awesome. Well, hopefully, is there a chance it might also be out maybe on like YouTube or any channel or
I,
mainly in
I would think
schools?
so. I would think so. If there's a way to make money, they're gonna throw it out there somewhere. Makes sense.
Definitely, definitely. No, I'm excited that obviously you're keeping busy, and obviously there's some potential opportunities with some of the Taylor Sheridan world where you might, be able to jump into as well.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that, and you've worked with many legends in the industry throughout your career, but is there anyone that you're still hoping to work with at some point?
Actually, I really enjoyed working with Jerry Orbach, but he's not here anymore. That was Law and Order back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but also, oh gosh, Taylor Sheridan was a nice guy. I mean, he
yeah.
directed us, and he was just so easygoing, and he would come on the set with his cowboy boots, cowboy hat, and maybe ride in on the horse and direct us. And he just said, "Great, that's great, great. You're doing great." But Tim
Yeah,
McGraw, I love working with Tim. We
yeah,
we
he's
talked for
awesome.
hours. We talked for hours in between takes, and nice guy, such a nice guy, so down to earth.
No, I mean that's like I mentioned, that scene is one of the most viewed scenes, not only on the Yellowstone show, but just scenes in general, right? Honestly, every time I pop up YouTube, it pops up and I have to watch it for a few minutes, and it's such a just a very honorable scene to see,
I wish I
right?
got you. I wish I got residuals on those on those.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
no,
they don't go that far yet.
mm-hmm. And yeah, speaking of Taylor Sheridan as well too. I mean, I was introduced to him, way back when on Sons of Anarchy, where he was
Really?
the deputy sheriff, the sheriff, in line. And I mean, maybe you would probably know this, best, but I mean, obviously he's created a whole multiverse of TV shows, right? And
Oh gosh.
as well. So, I mean, do you think that he's always had this talent even way back then when he was just acting and he had these stories in his mind, or what do you think inspires him to come up with all these stories?
That's my guess. Definitely. It's been in his DNA, and he's just throwing them out like left and right, like the mayors of was it the mayor of
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner's show?
Yeah, Mayor Kingstown.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
also Taylor Sheridan. My God.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, these are stories from all different areas. I mean, you got Landsman, the oil and gas area. You got Yellowstone back in the day with this family, like uh like the Ponderosa. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God, and then Tulsa King is completely different, and then you got the other one with oh gosh, the oh man, it's
What's the other
another
one?
Paramount Plus. It's
Uh,
with the woman who's the like a CIA or whatever.
yeah, Linus.
Linus. I
Linus.
mean, where'd
Yeah,
that come from? That's his too.
great show. Great show.
Yeah.
His Rolodex is unbelievable, and just the same thing. The dialogue in Landsman is just amazing. I mean, I've only seen two. I think it's only two episodes that have been out. I think they come
Yeah.
out weekly as well, right? Which is good. It's just like, for example, Cobra Kai. I was so excited to see it, and I love that show. And I pumped out part two, which is 5 episodes in just a few hours, and now I got to wait a whole other season until part three comes out. And it's like I like the old style where you can just see a show every week and you get to mull over it and talk over it for a week because we're
Yeah.
spoiled. We'll pump them all out right away.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there.
That's I enjoy that as well. Like just waiting for Tulsa King to pop up up. But now it's done. So we gotta wait for season three, hopefully.
Yep. Now with your this is just more of a fan question, but with your background in martial arts, did you watch Cobra Kai at all?
Oh yeah, we love Cobra Kai. Now plus Alicia, she's a
Yeah.
friend of ours.
Oh, really? Yeah, she's
Yeah.
on. She's one of the Cobra Kai senseis.
Yeah, she's great. Oh man, talk about
She's
striking person. Yeah.
she
Literally striking and striking.
She's awesome. She's awesome. I do want to be respectful of your time, Gregory, and I want to save some more room for round two. But definitely really enjoyed picking your brain, learning about your experiences in all these roles. I'm looking forward to seeing, some of your upcoming projects and where you might pop up in the Taylor Sheridan universe and some projects beyond, and excited to see where your character develops in season three of Tulsa King. But I want to just thank you for joining our show today, and obviously I'm
Yeah,
excited to share
appreciate
with the
it.
fans.
Yeah, this is great. I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me on. This is fantastic.
It was an honor. Thank you so much for joining today.
All right. You take care.
You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.